Welcome back. Now, the attention of most Nigerians returned to the Senate on Tuesday for the continuation of the confirmation hearing for ministerial nominees. Here is how it went.
The leadership of the Senate making their way into the Senate chamber. All seated, federal lawmakers are set to resume screening ministerial nominees. Last week, the Senate screened and confirmed 18 ministerial nominees, leaving 18 more left. On a single day last week, the Senate screened 10 nominees and 8 the following day. So it was expected that the Senate would follow the same procedure this week. However, on the order paper, only 3 ministerial nominees were listed for screening. The Senate spokesman tells us why.
In response to public agitation that we are too fast with the screening of ministerial nominees, and that they believe we're not detailed enough. And since the Senate is about the people, the 8th Senate is about the people, and we respond swiftly to public outcry. So the Senate have decided now that we will take only 3 today, so that we can be more thorough in the screening exercise, since we have 21 days to screen these people.
Inside the Senate chamber, the first nominee to be screened takes the stand.
I have come a long way with due respect and in all humility.
A lawmaker fires a damning question at him.
Were you ever indicted by a panel for religious intolerance in your state, where there was disturbances, and when the state set up a committee, they found you guilty?
He answers,
I say with all sense of responsibility that I have never been indicted by any panel of inquiry. I recently became aware of a gazette, and I have copies of that gazette. I don't know whether Mr. President will allow me to make reference to it. What happened? In that year 2000, I was the secretary of the National Committee on Hajj. And throughout the period that the crisis occurred, I was away in Saudi Arabia on national assignment. So I was not even in the country when the crisis occurred. And if you look through the Gazette, I was not invited. And in law, if you are not invited, if there are allegations against you and you are not invited, whatever finding which comes out goes to no issue.
After being grilled for nearly 1 hour 30 minutes, he leaves the stand. The second lawmaker to be screened belongs to the family of the National Assembly. Representative Khadija Abba Ibrahim is a 7th member of the House of Representatives, so it was clear that the Senate was going to go easy on her. But she did not leave without being asked a question, and in an interesting twist, the first question came from none other than her husband.
My ever-loving wife, Minister Khadija Bukaraba Ibrahim, how will you react if you are asked to just bow and go?
With 2 nominees screened, the Senate still has 16 ministerial nominees left to be screened, and this process is expected to last a few more days.
No screening took place on Wednesday as the Senate adjourned plenary till Thursday with no explanations or reason given for their decision. A lot of them were, however, at the Code of Conduct Tribunal for the resumption of the trial of the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki.
"81 senators arrive in the Code of Conduct Tribunal in Abuja in solidarity with the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, who is accused of false declaration of assets. The proceedings commenced in earnest, with the prosecutor, ROTIMI Jacob, requesting the tribunal to direct the Senate President to enter the dock. The request by Jacob was opposed by the defense, who informed the tribunal of a pending judgment at the Court of Appeal. The chairman of the tribunal, however, ordered Senator Saraki to enter the dock. With the compliance, the prosecutor applied for an adjournment on the ground that he has been served with the defendant's appeal at the Court of Appeal.
The matter did not go on because the appeal by the defendant, by Dr. Saraki, is still pending before the Court of Appeal, and that appeal has been heard, and we are all awaiting the decision of the Court of Appeal, and it will have a bearing in one way or the other on the proceedings pending before this court, because they are challenging the composition of the tribunal.
One of the lawyers to Senator Saraki explains why the application for adjournment was not opposed.
You will recall that we are at the Court of Appeal, wherein we were able to argue the appeal bordering of issues of jurisdiction. It is ideal and tried in law that once issue of jurisdiction is raised, it has to be resolved. More so, that the appeal itself had been argued in the Court of Appeal. Judgment reserved. The only thing left for the lower tribunal or court to do in the circumstance is to adjourn and await the decision of Court of Appeal.
Following the request for an adjournment, the chairman of the tribunal adjourned the case to the 5th and 6th of November to enable the tribunal await the judgment of the Court of Appeal.